A big welcome to Flipside. Today we will be celebrating the trailblazers and trendsetters who are shattering glass ceilings and redefining the business world. I mean, in a world where gender equality is still a work in progress. So permit us to shine the spotlight on fearless females who are breaking down barriers and pushing boundaries in the corporate world. From the boardrooms to startups, women are actually making their mark and leaving a lasting impact. So join us as we explore the topic of women in business, breaking barriers. I have with me in the studio a woman who is a revolutionizing person, a revolutionary, an industry person, someone who is challenging stereotypes and paving the way for future generations of female leaders. Her name is Stella Aguebor. She's a female mechanic. So today on Flipside, we're going to be using her story as a mirror to help more women prepare for the business world. I mean, there's a woman in everyone's life. As a mom, a grandma, a sister, a friend, a wife, a girlfriend, you name it. You can also learn, even if you're a man, and impact into the lives of these females around you, especially if you want them to positively disrupt the status quo, you want them to defy expectations, you want them to achieve greatness in the business world or in the corporate world. My name is Daisy Leo Asikidi and I'm your host on the show today. We will be focusing on how women can break barriers in the world of business. It's been a long time we talked business on Flipside. I'm talking about none other than Stella Aguebor Robert Kokoma. She's the first female mechanic in Nigeria, and interestingly, she is well-traveled and she's really dominating this supposed male-dominated industry. We need to learn from her success stories today so that other younger women and women who are struggling in business can at least get a breakthrough. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. How are you?
It's good to meet you. I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you for your invite.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
So you are a mechanic. Now that's stunning and it's not very typical for a woman. So we'll start with what inspired you to venture into this aspect of business. And so far, so good. What are some of the challenges you have encountered in this male-dominated industry?
First of all, I'll say thank you so much for having the time to invite me for this wonderful interview. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Stella Aguebor Robert Kokoma, MFRO. I'm the first female mechanic in Nigeria. I'm from Benin City, Edo State, a proud Benin woman at that. And I usually say to a lot of people, every big thing starts in Benin.
Yeah.
So my being a mechanic is not just a coincidence, no. It is something that has been ordained by God that this is what you want to do. I am from a very large family. I'm from a polygamous home. My father, everybody knows my father is called Robert Kokoma with so many wives and so many children. We are many. But my journey began when I was very little, at the age of 12, 13. Started dreaming Jesus Christ teaching me how to fix cars in my dream. Yeah, that's how I started. No member of my family, no relative is a mechanic or anything. Nobody. So but that has been ordained that this is what you want to do. I call it a dream become a reality for what I do. Because the story is too long. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So people see me and like, when I started, it was a big taboo in the 80s. For a woman to go into a workshop to start learning how to fix cars is like, why are you doing this? You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
And it became so much hatred. It brought hatred and dislike to a lot of people. Because I was in secondary school then, popular St. Maria Goretti then, where they will have to draw me like a cartoon on the board, and you are coming, nobody wants to be your friend. But you know what? That gave me the strength to be able to focus on what I want to become in my life. And today, it is something, if I come back again, I still want to do this.
Wonderful.
So
I really need to know how the challenges that you've encountered, at least the most frequent challenges you've encountered in this field.
The challenges, there are so many, but you know, I see them as opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid of challenges. My job on its own is a big risk. For you to have so many machines, I call the big engines machine, around your workshop, people's vehicle, insured by them, your garage is insured, and you have these vehicles around. At times you can have cars worth over billions of naira in your workshop under your care. But that's a lot of risk. But because you know what you're doing, you don't see them as risk. You see them as opportunity because you know what you want to fix, you know timeline to deliver. But the greatest, you know, challenges we have had so far is when I started working with my state government, those state government, as I was in charge of literally all the maintenance and repairs of all vehicles in the state, from the government house to judiciary to parastatals, all those places. The personal vehicles of the governor, I was in charge of. The
That's a big responsibility.
Yes, it was. I was using a door line. During the time I was working with the Mr. Governor, he knows, I always quote him, he knows. He said in his own word that, Sandra, you have done so well in what you're doing. Because at a door line, I was paying about 100 and something people monthly. It was like a mini factory, you know. So we had a whole lot going on. I was empowering the less privileged there. I was empowering the Libya returnees. That, you know, that was one time the big story in Edo State. I was in charge of the empowerment of Libya returnee in the government house. But I'll still tell you, did I even get any one kobo? That's one challenges, you know, that, you know, today I see that even in my state, a whole lot of people do not want to pay when you offer services to them. I don't want to start calling names, but one is the government of the day that is still owing me a lot of money that does not want to pay. Do you understand?
Okay.
So those are challenges, but you cannot say because of that you want to run back to the kitchen as a woman, you don't want to do your job again. So I see those things as opportunity, because in business, if you fail once, you have to get up. Second, you have to, the third time, it means that you've prepared yourself. But if you don't come back, it means that you don't know what's business. I'm a businesswoman, so I know what I want. But I will say to you, my state, some people, some prominent names in the society that people look up to, they are the downfall of a lot of women in those states. People like me that have worked for them, they don't even want to pay. So I don't want to go in details. But I know they are watching, they will know the people I'm talking about.
Okay, no. I had a friend who is also a business person that really said the people who you think will raise you the most in business are most likely the ones who will make your business crumble.
Absolutely.
Like she mentioned family members. They are the ones who will buy on credit. They are the ones who will buy and not give you reviews, and strangers will even recommend you more. But it's okay, we don't give up at least. As a mom and wife, it becomes quite cumbersome for me to even balance schedules at times. So we learn from women like you. I want other women who are also in business to use this opportunity to learn, how do you balance your work and your personal life? Maybe you look so young and pretty.
You flatter me now.
Maybe you could even give us tips on some self-care practices you're indulging, so other business owners or female business entrepreneurs could learn.
I, for one, I'm a mechanic. I've been a mechanic for 30-something years. I'm a fashionista. I love fashion.
It is show.
I love fashion, and I love myself. You have to love yourself before others can see what they like around you. I practice a whole lot of self-care. I love myself in the sense that it's no more than you have to like walk. They said all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. You have to walk, you have to play, you have to enjoy, you have to bring families together. You have to make your man happy. A whole lot of things that women need to bring together. You are a female mechanic does not mean you have to go and take the black oil or grease to rub at my pancake and everything. I like to wear things that are not common. I try to carve a niche for myself so that my followers, when I say followers, the girls that look up to me, the young ones, they will see that it's not that you are ugly, that's why you want to become a mechanic or auto electrician or going into the workshop. But because you have it in you already, these are part of the thing that women, a whole lot of women, once they get married and they think, oh, I have a baby for this man, I already have the man, they start wearing the man's boxers in the house. Are you a man? No. Hey, no, you are not a man. The way the man is meeting you during the chasing period, that's the same way you should remain. You should even improve on it, because when we see all these young girls outside on the streets,
they're not smiling.
a whole lot of them that I feel, those are even my job, to go out there to mentor them, to counsel them, which are already starting in Benin. We are going to go out there on outreach. These girls, they are not joking. They are not smiling. If you don't take care of your husband, you don't treat your man well, they are there to help you. If you want to look like the man's grandmother, go ahead. But one thing remains. Every woman is pretty. Every woman is beautiful. It depends on how you want to take care of yourself.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, what role models, what's the role of having a role model in business? Do you think is very important? Like you now, yours is kind of different. I mean, Jesus was doing the teaching himself. I've heard several success stories where people say they learned in the dream. I've wished for such an experience. I've prayed for it for such a long time, and I don't seem to be one of the chosen. But how important is having a role model in business to grow? Do mentors really influence our successes?
Of course, it does. Every business needs a role model. I, for one, in Nigeria today, have empowered and graduated over 2,000 female mechanics in Nigeria. And these girls, they look up to me. They saw when they were learning in the workshop how the vehicle comes in, what I talk with the customer, the communication skill, how we take inventory of the vehicle. We have a sitting room for drivers to sit. We have the accountant to prepare the quote and the bills. So now when they graduate, they want to set up their own workshop. These are the kind of things they will want around there.
Yeah.
And when they have challenges, like my girls in Benin, let me just take Edo State for one. I have a lot of girls in Edo State, my beautiful sisters that already have their own garages, that graduated, now they have their workshop. They are also now CEOs. I call them a trainee becomes the trainers. They are now my trainers as well. They train women also. One of them, I'll give you a story. One of them, the trainee that becomes a trainer, the girl that she has trained now work with Nigeria Port Authority.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine that?
Big.
So it's spreading out like a wildfire. It there means that these girls, definitely they need mentorship, they need counseling, they need a role model. In the sense that, oh, I have a troubleshooting. I have an engine that is giving me a problem. Madam, hello, madam, what can I do? I've tried to change the coil. I've tried to diagnose for the electrical problem. I've done this, I've done that. You know what? Why don't you check the knock sensor on the flying wheel? So when you say that, she's going to now go there and say, oh, the knock sensor is really bad. Once he changes, he solves this problem.
Wonderful.
So this is where the role model issue comes in. They
Very
need
important.
it. With their dressing code in the workshop, safety, precautions, and all that. I'm a big role model. Yeah.
You're proud to say it. We want to talk about initiatives. She did mention the person I have in the studio, for those who are just joining us. Anyway, you're in luck because we always upload this video to YouTube and we'll broadcast it again on Star Times and GoTV. But if you're just joining us, this is Flipside. I'm Daisy Leo Asukidi, and I have Sandra Aguebor Robert Kokoma in the house. She's the first female mechanic with several awards to her name and several diaspora recognitions to her successes. And she has mentioned a whole lot of trainees that have passed through her in the past, but I'm also interested in the future. There are so many women watching now that are thinking, I've missed out. Are there still empowerment programs, initiatives that people are watching right now could maybe join in and benefit from that you're involved in?
Of course, of
Okay.
course. The empowerment program was starting in Benin very soon. When I came into Edo State in 2008, I started with Coca-Cola to empower 100 female mechanics in Edo State.
Okay.
That's
Reduce the don't mention brands though. Okay.
That has really done well. And again, we are coming, I came to work with my state, and we have, in Edo State, we have over 400 female mechanics in different areas of specialty. Of course, a whole lot of them now run their own workshop and not training others. So the door is always open to any woman out there that wants to learn how to fix cars. You want to become a diagnostic expert, you want to become a vulcanizer, and you know, decorated vulcanizer, not just the one you see on the junction, is not well packaged and all that. We take them through entrepreneurship. We take them through accounting. We do theoretical, lecture for them outside the practicals they do in the workshop. We have examination body like NAPTEC and all that they have to take them on examination. They have certification to all this. So it's not just an initiative that does not go all around. It's an academy, so to say. Okay. So any girl that wants to come in to learn, even the graduates, that have read mechanical, they cannot, they don't know the know-how of fixing a car. You can come for 6 months, lecture, and you are able to know the practical aspect of what you've gone to learn in school. Okay, now, when we talk about women empowerment in Nigeria, is a whole lot of things, because I believe the empowerment of women is key to nation building. We cannot allow women to just, lie low like that, because without a woman, I believe there's no nation.
Word.
What is going on right now is that the government needs to make sure that a whole lot of skills programs are still going on. It's still going on, because now you can literally find a furniture carpenter that will want to come and fix just your door in the house. You cannot find them. They are so scanty around. Nobody is learning how to fix nothing again. In my industry, you can't even find the new intake into garages like the male folks. You now have the women coming forward. You know what? We want to become a mechanic. For this, all the exotic cars, a whole lot of guys, they love all the cars they drive on the road. But who is going to fix them? I give this country some more few years, mechanics are richer than the doctors, because who will carry those sick people to the hospital? They can't even trek. In our industry today, so to say, the Amaton, we just had a trade union now in Nigeria for all mechanics body, artisans. I am the national treasurer of this organization, of this body, the trade union. My job is to make sure that a whole lot of women do not look down on themselves. They are better than what they think. They should come out. The time a woman will use in selling oranges on the street with the heat of the sun, if you come into the garage, what you are going to learn will be far beneficiary to your husband, to your family, to, the people, your community. Because why? You are going to start extending that, imparting, your knowledge into other people. So it is a no-no for every youth out there to sit down and think you cannot do anything with your hand. Gone are the days just wholly white-collar job. If you are doing a white-collar job, you need another skill to take up with the economic situation of the country today. You cannot just depend only on white-collar job. you have to learn something with your hand. So it is a big deal that the federal government must continue the way they have been doing to invest. Because I, for one, my workshop is like 30 years old in Lagos State now. But outside me doing that, I was encouraged by the present president of Nigeria, our current president, you know. Tinubu, His Excellency, was the one that gave me the workshop I use today, the workshop I was using.
So you don't have a workshop in Benin?
I do.
Okay.
I used to use Edo line.
Okay.
Now
okay.
I want to complete the workshop in Benin before I come here to say, you know what, this is our workshop in Edo State. Once I finish putting all the machineries in place and all that, I'll come to the public and say, this is where the garage is. But now I continue to direct people to my girls' workshop because they have workshop. They also need to grow. Yeah. When next you are going to invite me, I'm going to come with some of my girls, the CEOs, young CEOs, less than 30 years, less than 40 years. They are doing well. Yeah. They have cars now. They are taking care of families. So empowerment is skill. And the training of lady mechanic is free of charge. They don't need to pay us. We pay them to learn. We give them stipends every other month. We give them the coverall. Everything is for free. How do we do this? We have to source for social corporate responsibility, companies with that, CSRO. Giving back to the communities where they are operating. This is very key. But a lot of people do not know that. But this company, they know that they need to give some percentage to the community where they are operating for the indigenous to be able to learn one skill or the other to meet up with their life needs. So this is where I also come in to be able to meet these people. You know what? Oh, in my village, you have to sponsor like 100 people. Oh, Oredo, if you know you have a company in Oredo, sponsor 50. Because if you don't improve our lives, what are you doing in our community? Why are you taking what belongs to us? You have to also give back. That is very key. That is very key. Okay. So the initiative is here to empower, to give employment. We don't just empower you and leave you there. We give you, of course, we start you up. If you cannot start up now, we give you to companies. I have guests in different car. I don't want to mention it so that it doesn't look like I'm doing advert for the company. But all the car manufacturing, all multinational companies in Nigeria, automobile, they have lady mechanic girls working there from 1 to 10. Okay. They believe in us. They believe that a woman will deliver better. I'm not trying to criticize the men here, but the company also says to me, you know, your guests, I need them in my spare parts shop, in my spare parts, because, oh, I trust them more. If a man is going to take 2, a woman will take half. That's what they say. So we don't even have enough to give to company. We are not like a resource center where the companies come to get female mechanics to different companies. All right,
so it's a long one. I think 3 weeks ago on the show, I had a female mechanic on the show. She calls herself the door-to-door mechanic. She just graduated from Uniben, and she came up with the first class. I was so happy, and she's been into. When she called me and said, Mama, I just finished. I'm like, I so sad, really? Fantastic. I was so happy for her. I think she's going to be one of those who are very interested in all of this program. I know many people are wondering how they could benefit from this, but don't worry, my social media platform is there on your screen, and you can always send a message and we'll direct you proper and also reach out.
You know what might interest you now? We are in public secondary school. It's called the Lady Mechanic After School Club. We are catching them young.
Wow.
How do we do this? We go into the school and set up like a STEM education. Because we know a lot of young students, they are running away from science. It's not a rocket science, but they keep on running away from science courses. So we bring this into different schools by doing computer coding, diagnostics for young children from age 8 to like 15, so that by the time you leave primary to secondary, you already start thinking of what you want to become. Is it maybe a computer scientist, or you want to build aeronautic, or you want to become an automobile engineer, that kind of thing. So we are catching them all young. We are starting in Benin now. We are already in East No Educational Center, but right now we are going to go into a whole lot of public schools in Benin to set up Lady Mechanic After School Club.
That's going to be beautiful.
Where even young ones can come in during their vacation period. We send them to the workshop where they can continue the practical work
And learn.
where they can learn. It's gone are the days when parents will just leave their children and say, oh, they are going to movie, oh, they are doing this. You are not teaching them the right thing. Even the former governor of Lagos State, Fashola's son, went into carpentry to learn how to do furniture work. He actually paid for his son to go and do that. He knew what he was doing. My father was an illiterate. He didn't go to school, but he had foresight to see what the future will become for him to allow me do what I'm doing today.
That's a strong man, I assure you. Okay,
so the initiative is not just only for the empowerment. We have won so many awards like you have mentioned. I have won the New York Film Festival Award in 2017 called My Nigeria on Al Jazeera. I've been on Al Jazeera in fact, for almost 2 years, I was always there, you know. I've been on CNN World News like 4 times. I've been on BBC. If you go to BBC World News website, you see my picture there as a young girl. I was in charge of their vehicle, that Pajero that was going around the country, Sokoto everywhere, taking the white people. I was so proud fixing those cars those years. Do you understand? Women should just come out. I know you have other things to ask.
I do.
Let me just
I do.
Let me pause for now because I keep talking.
Exactly, and time is running. I just have 2 questions, so we can call it a wrap. There's this mindset. It's a very negative, stereotypical mindset out there that when a woman has succeeded, in the street term, they say bottom par. It's very difficult for women to have succeeded, especially in the male-dominated industry, and they think it's all brains and smarts. It's, oh no, she used her looks. Oh no, she did this. She must have slept with somebody. But how did you begin to gather this huge clientele? When did you have this breakthrough? What was that special thing that gave you that breakthrough?
I'll say for one, that's a very interesting question. I have to sit where to answer that. You know, as a woman, if you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you have, it's a whole big deal in whatever you do. I, for one, when I came into the automotive industry, I saw that it was a place I needed to exhibit what I have to the men folks. How? I had to work 5 times harder than my male folks to be able to prove that the initiative I've brought in was not going to be like a flash. So for them, let's sit back and see how can she succeed in this hard job we've come. But I had to break those yoke. I even know more than a whole lot of men in my industry. For me to be there, I've been mechanic for about 37 years. It's not a joke. That is my calling. So if you know what you have, definitely it will attract a whole lot of men to you. They will come to you. A man is meant to chase a woman anyway. It's either you say accept or you say you don't accept. But I, for one, they come into the workshop. Some will see me and say, man, see your skin. Man, see the way you are beautiful. How far? I'll say, you have your car to fix. And men are easily intimidated when they know that a woman knows what she's doing in the car. You come into the workshop, this is what you want to fix, and I'm telling you all the integrity of the vehicle and everything.
Respect.
For you to chase me will be difficult. And I'll tell you, why don't you become just my friend? I'll start calling you my brother. Men will chase you. But you as the woman, is that what you really want? That's why you went into male-dominated? No. You become their friend. Most of the time, you can even buy a gift and say, my brother, take this gift, so that they can leave you alone. This is how I've done all these years. It's not that they will not chase you, they will chase you. But remain. As a woman, you walking and you knowing what you have, you cannot just go down all the time with every man. How many men will you go out with? What will your husband now enjoy from you by the time you get married? But there are ways you do this. Respect men, because they are meant to be respected. In fact, men, depending on how you relate with them, they will come back and bring the respect to you, not even chasing you. Because when one man eats you, it goes around the town. But when he cannot succeed, he goes around again and say, I respect her so much. So in my industry, I've been able to break that hard yoke for all these women, whether from Uniben, whether from any university, for them to see, oh, Lady Mechanic Stella Aguebor is our role model. I started it in Nigeria. I started this empowerment in Africa because when I even went to the White House, I've been, sponsored by the U.S. government to 7 states in America for free. They took me to Washington, D.C., took me to the White House, gave me an escort that would take me to like Detroit, where they fix General Motors and all that. They were asking me, how are you doing it in Nigeria? But when it's God that you believe in, it becomes what will ever prepare your life. So my job is like, it puts me like a wife. In fact, it's a burning passion for me. I love fashion. I love my job. I like to help. I'm a humanitarian person. I like to see people succeed. It's not only a man that can make you succeed. You have to be successful. A man will not come to you and say, how can I push her forward? What can I add to it? Because every woman needs a man. Every woman needs a man out there to be able to support.
You are entering one area that this table, if we break it, it will be too difficult to fix. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Lady Mechanic Stella Aguebor. It's been such an interesting conversation today, and we just have to go. Our time is up. I wish we had more time because I still have a lot of questions.
Take it for another day.
Part 2.
Yes. If you don't mind, I can drop my number for women out there that wants to
I think
this.
We'll put that number online. Because it's almost time up now. We won't even have the time to put it on the screen. But there's something, if you've not learned anything today, is a woman, you need to work sometimes 5 times as hard as a man to achieve or get the recognition a man will get for doing way less than that. So work at it, give yourself respect, love yourself, and then those around you will begin to love you. And it's not only a man that can make you rise. That one is just ringing in my head. You can rise. You need God. You need people around you. It's not always a man. And men, support women. Support the women in your lives. I want to say thank you for being with us on the show today. It's been a spectacular one. We'll be back again next week at exactly 1:30. Please make it a date. Bye.